Dudes, it's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So we got another episode this week in Warframe. We're going the entire weekly reset, and this week you got some big loot with the new Coda weapons rotating, and also the anniversary rotating to another free weapon slot, the Dex Furus. So let's get right into it. Before we do, make sure you sub this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads. We're also live on stream right now, doing some Omniforma bundle giveaways. You can enter the one right now. We'll have another one after this video goes up. So come on, stop by. All right, first weekly reset item is a Zaw Riven and Devstream for 75 steel lessons. In my opinion, not super worth it, but Zaws can be pretty good for prop taker farming if you do choose to do that. Additionally, we did just have a dev stream last week, so don't expect any big updates this week as far as Warframe, but yeah, we did just get the Elite Temporal Archimedea and the Infested Lich weapon. So we'll be covering all that stuff here to show like if anything's worth signing in for, basically. Because last rotation we had a 60% motivore for the new weapon, and I've heard whispers that might be a 60% weapon on a different type tonight as well, so yeah, if we do get a 60 tonight, I'll make a new video on whatever that is. But for the time being, yeah, just that big Archon shard reset. We should also be on the fall season for 1999. So if you want to have a proto-frame kiss next week or whatever it is, make sure you're dating a proto-frame before next week's reset. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a peek at what we have in the Dorma Zone before we go over and look at the 1999 stuff. As far as what you want over here, we got some adapters. We got primary arcane adapter for 25 Pathos. That's a lot of Pathos. Jeez, I would say maybe don't buy that. Secondary adapter for 25, rifle ribbon for 15, and a Forma and some Kuva. So nothing that phenomenal here. Let's hope that we can actually get some good deliveries on the other fronts, such as the calendar. Now the calendar can give you green shards, but they did remove the fully built Omniforma from the calendar. It's now a blueprint, unfortunately. So it could take a ton of resources to build it in the first place. So taking a peek at our calendar over here, let's see what we got in store for us this week. So as far as the first drop, you get a yellow shard or an Axis weapon adapter, pretty decent. And as far as your buffs, you got sonic feedback, which is AoE radiation procs, you take damage, no quarter giving you attack speed, or espresso shots giving you built-in 2 energy regeneration per second. I'd say probably go for no quarter or espresso shots. Espresso shots is pretty weak, but it does stack with Nourish for good energy regeneration. After that, you get either an Exos weapon adapter blueprint or 6k endo, so not the most exciting on that front. Then after that, you can either get a mod booster, so that's exciting. This gives you an increased drop rate of endo and normal mods and arcanes from Thrax, so very good option to grab on that tier. You could actually not even buy this in the market, so very rare item there. Additionally, you've got Slice and Dice, a new perk called Copy and Paste, and Trick Shots. Now, the thing about Trick Shots is that this sounds extremely powerful, but the issue is that, well, basically what it does, shots get a chance to fire out secret projectiles after a successful hit. Fire weapons reduce the chance by 5%. You can spam these, but the enemies in 1999 die too quickly. So unless you're shooting a Babao or a Dedesant, like the damage attenuation enemies from the Scaldra, you will not even get any effect out of this, so do not pick this perk in my opinion. This new perk, Copy and Paste, create a spectral clone of a randomly currently active specter or companion every 125 energy spent. Interesting. So you can make additional specters or companions every 125 energy spent. Sounds similar to Duplex Bond. And for Slice and Dice, you will get increased slide attack crit chance and slide speed when you do slide attacks. That's pretty funny, but yeah, I'm going to probably try Copy and Paste this week. They're all kind of weird ones, though. After that, you get an Omniforma blueprint. Like I said, it will never be built here, unfortunately. Or a singular arcane. Not the best choices on that tier, that's for sure. Last couple, we got another Omniforma. Oh my gosh. Okay, now we're starting to feel the sting of this. Omniforma blueprint twice this week. And also a Exilus Warframe adapter. So that's unfortunate they had to change that. At least you got double mod booster too. So 2 mod boosters available. I'll be grabbing those for sure for 6 days of mod booster. So pretty good stuff on that front. You can also get a resource drop chance booster if you prefer instead. All right, let's go take a peek at what we got for the 1999 stuff. I've heard whisperings there's going to be a really strong weapon over here. So let's go ahead and take a look. Keeping in mind that these are MR17 required. So a little bit on the higher side as far as, overall level of stuff that's required here. Okay, right, this is not going to reset on every weekly reset, but it does sometimes. So we get a 40% base assist, pretty high tier, nice. A 44% cost assist, I'll be buying that for sure. Nice roll on that. A full 60 hirudo, so go ahead and grab that. These things have very high crit stats. I will definitely give this a proper shake over the next week. So max level hirudo, go ahead and grab that if you want. It's as high as it goes, and electric's pretty good for melee influence too. The path assist is 31%, so not the best. The synapse is 37, so if you got the synapse last week, you should be basically having a maxed out synapse after this pickup as well. And the Tice is 34, so Tice is still on the lower end on the roll. So yeah, as far as what's on the grab this week, guys, the base assist is higher than the one last week. I'd say you could probably grab that. If you haven't even grabbed the base assist, it's a higher tier than last week. Also, this costs us pretty high roll. But yeah, the main prize here would be the hirudo at max roll. And if you need the synapse to be maxed out, you can also grab this too. So good stuff in that regard if you want to grab those. I'll probably be using that hirudo in a video like probably tomorrow or the next day. All right, for your ETA, a great place to get Arcane Hotshot, for example, and some Archon shards. Let's see what we got. Okay, so it looks like Defense is the second mission this week. Interesting. So we've got Hell Scrub, Defense, and Exterminate. And the modifiers are going to be as follows. Hold your breath. The entire region deals toxic damage over time. Yikes. Overtime increases the longer players remain, except in the vicinity of Hell Scrubbers. Oh my gosh. Some of these may drop filters to create additional zones, static, temporary, safe zones. So you will be taking constant toxic damage if you're not near the Hell Scrubbers. This is them testing stuff for future content for sure. So toxin everywhere. If you get a Dante, you should be okay. But if you don't have a Dante, make sure you play by the rules. Next, fortified foes. Guardian Eximus units may appear, including Guardian Eximus mechs. And the last modifier, it's alive. Within the underground, hostile overgrowths will attack if players stop moving. Yikes. That sounds like a pain in the butt. All right, next one. Defense. Vamp Rock. Flare creates a field that disrupts players' abilities while draining energy to boost Flare's health. Flare slowly loses health when no players are in range. Ouch. These are some annoying modifiers. Next, Beyond the Wall. Murmur enemies join the ranks with Cauldron and the Tech Rot. This was glitching the game out last week. Hopefully it's not glitched the game out this week too. And Entanglement, basically a free modifier. If you're near a dead enemy, you'll have reduced movement and parkour velocity. And for your last mission should be a freebie, Exterminate. You've got Cache Crash. Consequences of opening a supply cache are active from the start, which basically means better spawn rate. Well, and they'll also intensify once it's open. Failure to open the supply cache doubles the kill count required to finish the mission. So like 400 enemies if you don't open that cache. Make sure you open that cache. Vampire Liminus. Slow-moving Vampire Liminus will chase you down and really annoy you. Maybe even kill you. And the last one, Competitive Streak. Random negative penalties from Amir and Ali's face-off mode will be applied throughout the mission. Oh, okay. Pablo's feeling real evil tonight. So that's going to be an interesting one. That toxin field sounds interesting as well for the first mission. We'll try that on stream. And for your personal modifiers, you got Abbreviated Abilities. So all your durations reduced by 50%. Yikes. Untreatable. Pickups don't heal, and health orbs cannot be picked up. Hope you got a Dante. Dropped Guard. Warframes and Allies Overguard gain reduced by 75%. Oh no, my Dante idea. So maybe bring Wisp then instead. And then Constricted, the last one. Max energy reduced by 75%. What are these modifiers? What is this? This is complete evilness. So reduced Overguard, no healing from drops, no duration, no energy, no nothing. So at least you can bring your elite on call or something, because this is legit evil over here. Okay. Well, if you want to get those drops, you will have to suffer in the crucible of the ETA. But either way, yeah, at least pretty decent loot if you can stomach all that terribleness. If you want to see us suffer, come on, stop at the live stream. Let's hope it doesn't DC us from the mission. Moving over to the Elite Deep Archimedea. That was the Elite Temporal Archimedea. It will be probably a little bit easier than that, I would assume. On the whole, I think the Elite Temporal Archimedea is more difficult than the Deep Archimedea, from what I've seen so far. So yeah, they are going for the Overguard this time with that new modifier. I think we'll have a much more simple time over here for sure. But yeah, beyond that, guys, you know, that you can still get your Infested Lich stuff carried or leveled up. I've been buying minimal weapons, actually. I've been taking it easy on the weapons. To only buy like weapons that are 40% or higher, personally. But it's up to you. If you want to grab every 26 she has, go for it. Okay, so the missions here are Alchemy, Disruption, and Mere Defense. Oof. Mere Defense at the end? Get an evil EDA as well. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, as far as what you have to do if you want to do this week, this requires rank 5 with a Syndicate, just like the other one required rank 5 as well. So, as far as your modifiers here, for Alchemy, Eximus, and Force, you have to basically only damage the Eximus units, or excuse me, the Eximus units are the only ones that drop the grenades, so that's going to make this take a lot longer. Post-mortal surges, slight enemies explode with void energy, so dangerous when they die. And fortified foes, Guardian Eximus mechs appear, including Guardian Eximus Necromechs. For the disruption, double demolishers makes it there's 2 demolishers, but they're easy to kill. So pretty straightforward on that one. Alluring Archonids, as rogue Archonids charge their attacks, they'll pull Warframes towards them. Easy one there. An exploding potential. Rupturing fragments replace shuffling fragments. Those crawling arm enemies will deal like 5,000 damage explosions when they die, so be careful about that modifier on all 3. And the last one for mere defense, let's hope it's not that bad, because mere defense is one of the missions you can actually fail. So, first one's Barbed Glyphs. Each glyph inflicts a small amount of damage when collected. Okay? Second modifier, Myopic Munitions. Enemies only take damage when they're within 15 meters of an ally. Yikes. And Commanding Culverins. Rogue Culverins deal extra damage to Overguard and mechs. These are not that bad of modifiers, thankfully, especially compared to what we just saw in the ETA. As far as your personal modifiers, secondary wounds means you get puncture whenever you take damage. Ability Overload means using the ability opens a Void Rift nearby. I've never seen that one before, so that should be interesting. Hypersensitive. Duration of negative status effects is tripled. And Transference Distortion, no operators allowed. So, yeah. That one, thankfully, looks easier than the ETA. So, yeah. Go ahead and have fun with that one, I suppose. As far as your shiny treasure for Bird 3, a guaranteed Amber Shard from Bird 3 for 30,000 reputation. Which is, guaranteed. There is no guaranteed shard on the Hex Syndicate yet. Moving on to the Incarnons. Reminder, we're not doing as in-depth as an Incarnon explanation as we used to on this channel, because most people know what the good Incarnons are nowadays. But if you don't know, we'll still tell you which ones are the ones I'd recommend to you if you don't have any of them in the first place. But first things first, for your normal circuit, you got Loki, Mag, and Rhino. Pretty easy frames to farm, with the boss fight, boss fight, boss fight. You're pretty much safe to not even grab any. It's not, you can honestly farm them from the boss fight faster than you'd actually would from farming them in circuit. So I'd say don't even grab any of these this week. If you really need one, the one that has the best helmet is Rhino with his roar, but Rhino literally comes from like the second planet in the game. So, second planet in the game, like 4th planet in the game, and like 8th planet in the game. Really easy to farm. I would not recommend you even farm them here. So, if you want to, grab Rhino, I suppose. But for the Steel Path, the stuff that you actually have to think a little bit more about, you got the Week 1 Incarnons. Bratton, Leto, Skana, Paris, and Kunai. As far as the options down here, if you haven't played in a while, you can grab Kuva or Riven instead of these Incarnons you prefer. Now, as far as what these all do, Bratton Incarnon is a AoE fire damage rifle that is to be full auto when you go to Incarnon form, and it's got pretty good damage. Not my favorite gun. It's just basically strictly worse than the Bursted Incarnon, but if you like the Bratton, like maybe you have nostalgia for the Bratton Normal or the Bratton Prime, because it's like beginner weapons, you can make your beginner weapon into an endgame weapon with this upgrade. So, great stuff there, but not really my favorite in all of Warframe. Leto Incarnon, this thing is going to be AoE chaining, or it's not AoE, punch through and ricochet is what they actually classify it as, but you can hit multiple enemies at a time with this bullet. So, if you have the Leto Vandal, it's really, really strong, but funny enough, the Leto Normal is actually really good on this too. It's just a really, really strong Incarnon with Death Trap Trigger. Once you swap from your primary to your secondary, you will get massive buffs of crit chance and crit damage. This can be red crit, one-shot level 10,000 relatively easily. Also, if you just want to use it for less of a swap, but just more of a good pistol in general, the exact penance perk on kill, 50% chance to auto-reload your magazine. You can just basically spam this thing through a mission. It's single target, but yeah, you can just auto-reload. 50% chance to auto-reload is very high, so a great Incarnon for sure. And for the Skana Incarnon, this thing is not my favorite, but it does have good stats. Once you go to Incarnon form with the 6x multiplier, you'll be doing an AoE blind when you enter it, and also when you do a finisher, you'll do an AoE blind again. So pretty fun with Excalibur, but yeah, not exactly everyone's favorite. It's got really high stats though, with Survivor's Edge, Elemental Excess, or Absolute Valor giving tons and tons of stats. It's just a generic sword with an interesting effect, basically. So, not my top recommendation unless you really need a good melee. The Paris Incarnon, one of the best bows in the game with the Incarnon form. The status chance on this thing is off the charts. We're talking 600% status chance on some builds, and as far as what happens when you go into Incarnon form, get some headshots, and you will get railgun arrows. These railgun arrows, again, can have crazy status chance. It has base heat, so a gas build can be very nasty for taking out hallways enemies. You could also use it as a dog stat stick, since one of the stat sticks that didn't get removed from the game is the Paris Incarnon. So you basically use Hunter Synergy, I believe it's called, to link to your weapon, and then you use Visage Ball. I don't even know how to spell Visage Ball. There we go, Visage Ball. So you link this is for crit chance. You link the crit chance with Hunter Synergy, and you also massively increase the status chance with Visage Ball. Your companion will link to this stuff and get the stats of it. So very nasty for a dog, basically doing like multi-million damage slash procs. And the Coda Incarnon, a very, very Single target weapon. Once it goes to Incarnon for some headshots, it will become homing and also get increased multi-shot too. So very strong for guaranteed headshots. If you need a high-level killing weapon, this is a great option for you. Now, after all that's said and done, what's the best Incarnons to grab? You don't have any of them already. Number 1, Paris Incarnon, one of the best bows in the game, and definitely the highest status chance bow in the entire game. This can wipe out hallways very, very easily. Second place, for me, it's the Lado. Now, the Lado Vandal is really, really annoying to get, so keep that in mind, that you might not have access to Lado Vandal unless you are farming, I think it's Elite Sanctuary Onslaught a lot, or it might be Normal Sanctuary, one of those two. Unless you have the Lado Vandal, you can just do the Lado Normal. The Lado Normal is totally fine. I use it for level 10,000 sometimes. That being said, the Lado Vandal is better, but yeah, if you don't have the Lado Vandal, maybe go for a different option like the Bratton, for the Bratton Prime. Those will be probably my main 3. The Skana is just too generic for me, and the Coda is really good, but it's just too single target for us in 2025. So yeah, number 1, number 2, Paris and Lado. Hopefully that's helpful to you guys. Moving on to the Nightwave, we've got some new Nightwave challenges. Let's see what we got. So as far as the first one, collect 100 resources from Duviri. I'm glad I don't need to do that anymore. That's a pretty annoying one. Next, Flawless. Clear a Railjack boarding party without your Warframe taking damage. There's an ability called Intruder Stasis. I'd recommend for this one. You don't need to use it, but you can also play Rhino too. I believe Iron Skin should work. So freeze all enemy boarding parties for 35 seconds. If you have this, as soon as they board, just freeze them in place. They're frozen for 35 seconds, so totally free on that regard. But yeah, you can also try Rhino or Revenant. It should also still work. Next, first Elite Weekly, complete a defense mission reaching at least wave 20. So this is going to be, remember, there's 3 wave defense rotations now, so you have to do like 6+ rotations to get that challenge done. And for your next Elite Weekly, kill 1,500 enemies. Super straightforward. So kill 1,500 enemies is the Elite Weekly, and you also got kill 30 Eximus, kill 500 enemies, and complete 15 missions. So totally free Nightwave rep down here, honestly. And for your credit offering store, I doubt there's anything new in here, but we have our Evergreen stuff at the top. We have the Frost Aurora helmet, blueprint. I thought that was an arcane helmet for a second, but it's a pretty standard Frost helmet. Got some Solstice skins, Solstice Archoplasmor skin, always looking good. And looks pretty standard in my opinion. So Deadly Maneuvers for the Magnus, Range Advantage for the Akjagara, and Exposing Harpoon for the Harpack all here. As well as some aura mods. I say for aura mods, grab Corrosive Protection if you don't have it already. Very nice mod to have. Loot Detector could also be good too. And for your Conclave mods down here, you got Double Tap Latron, which is pretty nice. Purging Slash for Excalibur. Purifying Flames for Ember. And Directed Convergence for the Supra. Alright, that's going to be all your stuff from that. And that's basically it for your weekly reset, guys. You do have a, the double credit weekend's still going right now, but we've got another alert coming up for some, weapons and all that. So not that important. You're not going to have another double weekend until next week. Next week, after, basically 2 weeks from now, there will be a double Affinity weekend, but we'll talk about the next week's video. So hope you guys found this video fun. I'll see you on stream very soon. We're going to pull the Omniforma bundle giveaway, and then we'll do another one. So I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate support and take it easy. Peace.